Thank you for joining Pic Recap. Today I'm going to explain a 2012 South Korean science fiction anthology film called Doomsday Book. The film begins and a man appears in the first story, who works in a laboratory. His colleagues are planning to travel abroad here. Hearing this, he says that he will support them too. But he forbade her to come with him. And they say that, "Your parents gave us a paper before going abroad. We forgot to give you." In that paper, the boy's mother told him the working details of the domestic course. What is he to do in his absence? First, they were asked to segregate dry and wet waste. When he went home, the whole house was in disarray. Then he starts doing things differently there. And he goes to throw the garbage in the dustbin kept outside. He comes back home after throwing garbage and checks his cell phone. His friend had sent a voicemail to his cell phone. She invites him for dinner. He then opens the utensils on the dining table and examines them. Those utensils give off the disgusting smell of rotten food. Then he saw that an apple was completely rotten after being infected with a virus. Putting it in a lid, he gets ready and goes to meet his friend. And he throws that cover in a recycle bin, seeing it on the way. Everyone used to throw garbage there. This causes more infection in that apple. Now the employees of the company recycle that waste. Take that bin from there. And they turn that waste into cow fodder. Now a cow eats fodder there. At the same time, the owner of that cow kills that cow. And his beef is sold by him in a hotel. The boy and his friend were having dinner in the same hotel. There is a grill on their table and they are enjoying this food to the fullest. And there's fresh meat being roasted on that grill. Then his friend takes a photo of this food through her cell phone. The boy asks, "What are you doing?" Then the girl says that, "I capture every moment of my life and this is my hobby." A waiter serves them beef liver while they are eating. This is the specialty of this hotel. Saying this, the boy eats the liver of that beef. Then something gets stuck in his mouth. On bringing it out, it turns out that it was the peel of an apple. Now he thinks, how did this get into the beef liver? And he starts eating again. Then they sit and talk to each other in the park. Meanwhile, the boy asks his friend, "Why do you like me?" And his friend answers him, "How innocent you are. This is the reason why I love you." Meanwhile, a change is seen in that boy's face. And the girl asks him, "What happened to you?" At the same time, two people standing in the park throw a ball towards him. Then the boy stands in a rage but his friend stops him. She says we should not face these people. We must leave this place. Ignoring his friend, he goes to fight with the two boys. Now both those boys beat him fiercely. He grabbed her by the throat and threw her down. At the same time, the boy vomits and the beef liver makes him vomit. Then his friend calls someone to save him. And she also asks for defense. Now that boy's body was being mysteriously changed. Now that boy started beating both the boys mercilessly. Now his friend thinks, can he do the same? Now his friend was surprised to see him like this. She takes pictures of him here and later runs away. Now this boy calls up his friend and tells him the whole story. And his friend asks him to come to the bar and discuss the whole matter here. And he goes to the bar too. After coming out of this park, the two beaten up boys mysteriously go to other people. Now the couple thinks, why are they moving towards them? They start biting the couple, approaching them and turning into zombies. On the other hand, the boy's friend was going by bus. She also starts vomiting. After this, all those people, who had eaten the food of that restaurant, were vomiting. And all the civilized people talk among themselves, and start fighting among themselves. The boy enters the bar walking slowly. Here everyone is dancing happily. And he tells the whole thing to his friend, that he is unaware of this. What is wrong with him? His friend was drunk and he could not understand his words. Then he ignores her words and takes her to dance. On the other hand, some kind of marks have started emerging on his friend's face as well. Now she calls that boy. But because of the loud sound, he could not hear her voice. But he does not find it easy to live here, so he thinks of returning home. There he gets upset and starts beating a man violently. And 2 or 3 people pick it up and throw it out. And everyone was turning into zombies who had taken food from that restaurant. And the boy continues to walk without looking around. His cell phone has also been dropped and he doesn't even notice it. And he continues to walk. Then this news is also broadcast on TV. It was a bulletin on TV with a question, why are people turning into zombies in a single night? And the boy reaches his house and listens to the broadcast on TV. Because no one knows about this virus yet. We will be safe from the discovery of a vaccine. Now he starts breaking other things while watching TV. His parents and sister came out of the house. They are ringing the doorbell of the house. But the boy was not opening the door. Now they don't understand anything. They open the door with the duplicate key which they had. And when they enter, the whole house is dark, and things are scattered here and there. Now his mother cries, seeing the dirty things, that I had given you instructions by writing on a paper. Despite this, you turned the house into a dustbin. Now the boy walks slowly towards them. Then all three of them wonder, what has happened to him? Then he comes to them and bites his father. Then he also killed his younger sister. Seeing this, his mother locked herself in the toilet. He bangs on the door mercilessly. But his mother is sitting holding the door tightly. Then he goes to the open exit, seeing it open. Now all the citizens of that city were infected with that virus. And the rest, they request the government to protect them by climbing a building. Others think it's the right time and they are picking up stuff from here and there. The government tried to do everything but nothing was being controlled. Now the boy sees, going there, that his friend had also turned into a zombie. And she was standing in front of him. Both recognize each other. And they see an apple there, walking together. His friend takes it out and hands over the apple. And he starts eating that apple. Now her friend takes her photo with love. Why don't we turn into zombies? But the love of the heart never dies. Similarly, first story ends here. Now the second story begins with the title Heavenly Creatures. The film begins with a boy who works for a robotic corporation. And he is going to a great temple. There were numbers of people. There was also a robot. The corporation had sent him for investigation. He asks his great sage about that robot. And he tells her here that the robot has transformed like us. It is based on self-working. So we don't need to take its service. Instead of diagnosing its fault, you can inform us after examining it. Now the workers reach the hall room where many people were offering namaz. Then a small child hides himself while walking in front of a man. And he also hides himself in front of the robot sitting next to him. Now this boy was shocked and staring at everyone. After some time those boys come and sit near the robot. And he is ready, taking out the equipment he took. While others were watching his checking with great surprise. There is also a girl in this temple, who was examining everything in surprise. Now the boy, after checking this robot, says, is there anything wrong with the robot? It is in good condition. Then the robot tells him that, I'm stable and I know a lot about it, but you are sad. But the boy tells him that, I have repaired more than 100 robots. So it's no big deal for me to repair this robot. The robot tells the boy here that the people of the monastery have bought me. I am completely stable. Why has the corporation sent you here for my investigation? And nobody called me for repair, so why did the corporation send you? Now the robot asks the boy. And he is shocked to hear this. Now that boy says to everyone, you all consider this robot a Buddhist. If I hear this robot will call itself Buddhist, then this defect needs to be rectified. At the same time, a person apologizes to that boy there and says that, we thought that maybe you would feel excitement after seeing this robot. But you flew away in anger. If we had even the slightest awareness of it, we would have never told you. Then the girl says to the boy, try to understand, all of you. Check out this robot one more time. He thinks this girl is crazy. And she's driving me crazy. I'll tell you after thinking. Saying this, he leaves from there. The next day, while he was sleeping in his house, some people knocked on his door. When he checked through the peephole of his door, there was a girl standing there. And he had a carton. Now she asks him, do you repair the robot? And she says that there's a problem with my puppy's toy. Fix this. But this boy says that there are many other workers who repair these toy machines. And I have specific robots. And she says to this boy, it's night and no shop is open yet. I can't live without this puppy toy, so mend it right away. Saying this, she starts crying. Seeing this, the boy takes that puppy's toy and puts a chip in it and brings it out. Now that girl was sitting there smoking. The boy tells him that, I have put a chip in it. Go to a good shopkeeper in the morning and get it repaired. Then the girl casually leaves from there with the puppy's toy. Now the boy was looking at that girl from the window of his room. The girl leaves the puppy's toy by throwing it in the dustbin of the apartment. Meanwhile, the boy was watching TV. He receives the call immediately. It was from his corporation. Now the corporation management asks him about that robot, which he had checked in the temple. Then the boy tells them that I am not able to decide anything by checking that robot. The next day the robot is seen sitting in his room and the same girl is roaming out of his room. The robot calls her inside the room and asks about her depression. The girl says that they all consider you just a robot. But you are like our Buddhists. While there, the robot shows him a car. He asks her, what is this? That girl says there is a car. Then he shows his hand. The girl answers him, it's your hand. Then he puts that hand down, separates it. Time is running in their hands. Then he tells him, this is the hand to the observer of the hands, this is the car to the observer of the car, and just like you see me as a Buddhist, they see me as a robot. There is no need to be sad over this. Saying this, he explains to the girl. Now the employees, chief and some members of the corporation go to the temple to see that robot. But no one was interested in it. Now that corporation head tells everyone that we trust robots rather than our robots. That's why people use robots for wrong things. Now this robot is an old model. So this robot lives with them and thinks like a human. And this robot has started dominating humans. That's why we're pulling these older model robots down. There everyone gets into a dispute with him. Now the owner of that corporation says that you have definitely bargained with this robot. While our corporation has manufactured it. And the manufacturer has the right to terminate it. Now that boy is standing, coming in front of that robot. And he tells the employee of his corporation, don't drag it down. But they pushed him after beating him. But the robot kills both the attackers. Then the robot talks to everyone and tells them that, I can beat them from here and drive them away. Human beings learn by what they see before themselves. And so are robots. If you are good-natured, you cannot learn bad deeds. Negative thoughts start with you. If you want to eliminate robots, first eliminate humans. And I don't need longevity. He ends himself, sitting before his Lord's law. When the boy goes to her for checking, all his lights are turned off. It had ended its own story. He understands this. Witnessing this, all the people present there are mourning. Thereafter, he returns home. He also takes out the puppy's toy from the dustbin that the girl had thrown away. Now after biting off the chip attached to his hand, he puts a chip with that puppy's toy. He was probably a humanoid-like robot, which was the latest robot. Now he had learned a lesson from that robot that he would also save human lives. And the third story starts from here, titled Happy Birthday. The story depicts a young girl searching for something using a computer. Meanwhile, his father comes up to him while searching for the 8th ball in 8-ball pool billiards. She hears his voice and throws the ball out. Now she wanted to buy that ball online through a computer. After this, the 8th ball falls into the pit of the street. And a connection has emerged in black. Later, it is broadcast in the news that a polka dot is about to crash with the planet Earth. Later, this world will be destroyed. Because of this, these people are able to survive only for 12 hours. That the girl's parents are hiding in an underground place, taking the necessary things with them. And they keep watching the news through an intent connection in the computer. They also save some plants underground for the space they need, which they can restore after the end of the world. There was no electric current, so they generate it while cycling. The timer was being displayed on the monitor screen. Seeing this, the little boy changes the channel. She continues to change channels. She was feeling bored. On the other hand, his parents were playing an 8-ball pool game. Now that little girl started crying bitterly. Now 3 of them asked him, what happened? The little girl tells them that what is being shown on social media is like the 8-ball which she ordered. Hearing this, everyone looks at him in a mysterious way. After that, she goes there and checks her computer. Now she says that a polka dot who is about to destroy the earth. I ordered it myself. But everyone says, you are so nervous, that's why you are talking. All 4 of us are safe. We will never do any harm. Do not worry. But she says, trust me. I had given that order. Now she tells that 8 balls had broken from my side. And I threw that ball. After that I ordered that pool ball online. It was probably a wired website and 8 ball was being advertised there. And I ordered that ball after mentioning my date of birth there. This is a supernatural website. Who is sending this ball right now? But they don't believe in him. After a short time, they see the compute screen again. In this it was being broadcast that after some time the world would be destroyed. Hearing this news, the girl cries a lot and thinks that maybe she is responsible behind this. Everyone was comforting him. After a while she goes outside and sits down. Time was passing slowly. Then her uncle checks into the computer, and he tells her parents that she is telling the truth. There is a website where they ordered online. The first black ball was connected to the internet. This was NASA news. This is the reason behind everything. Now that ball was moving towards the Earth. The girl says, everyone will be saved if I cancel my order after coming in. Then the electric current stops flowing. Then his parents cycle to restore the electric current. As soon as the computer is turned on, they start searching for that website. Only 7 minutes were left that the ball could hit the Earth. He and his father find that website with great difficulty. And they cancel it there. Polka dot stops, reaches a point. Then the yes or no button is clicked. His mother was tired, pedaling the cycle. So she falls down. As a result, the flow of electric current slows down. And she quickly presses the wrong button. So the time of 7 minutes is reduced to 2 minutes. Now nothing can be done. Everyone wishes him a happy birthday. And the ball has crashed with the Earth. 10 years later, everyone is sleeping in that underground shelter. And in this place plants are grown and bear fruit. That little girl has become an adult. When she wakes up, then there is an earthquake. The door is damaged and everyone is scared. Here the sunlight starts falling due to the breaking of the door. Now she comes out climbing the stairs. She sees an alien there who has her date of birth card. She touches it and it immediately disappears there. This alien had come to wish him on his birthday. As she leaves, she sees the world she saw 10 years later. After that everyone comes out. And they are walking on the ground after 10 years.